500 points. Damon Buffum has been awarded the Level 2 Board Excellence Award. Congratulations, Damon, for continually striving to enhance your knowledge and skills of school board governance. And I have a very nice certificate. I can get a hug. Congratulations. And I also have an award for Peter Forsgren from the Monroe County School Boards Association. Recognizes with gratitude the leadership contributions made by Peter Forsgren as co-chairman of the Monroe County School Board's Labor Relations Committee. Congratulations, Pete. Good care. Okay, now I have others. We have the Monroe County School Boards Association membership pin for newly elected board members, and that would be for Mr. Kevin Glover, and I have a pin for you. And welcome aboard. Thank you for coming aboard. And also, one more. I have a lovely plaque from the Monroe County School Boards Association. This is for Marcy Hosford. In grateful appreciation for your service as Board of Education member. This is for June 17th, 2017 from the Monroe County School Boards Association. I think I have them all. Okay. Right. Next order of business is communications, and I don't believe Sydney Barrett is here tonight. I'm sure she's very busy with year-end tests and so forth. For the President's report, I would like to read off the Fairport Central School District retirees for 2017. And it's quite a nice list here. John Baines, Paul Bergwell, Stephen Best, Kathleen Brosma, Jean Camp, Susan Campbell, Anthony Casano, Robin Connor, Valerie Cowles, Dale Curry, Barbara Fiala, Deborah Gebhardt, Diane Goosey, Jeffrey Gilliard, Maureen Holcomb, Kevin Horton, Deborah Hoto, Nancy Cantor, Sheila Coral, Herbert Graham, Marianne Koska, Deborah Kovacic, okay, Mary Lestrom, Linda Layton, Patricia Lear, Ellen Lechner, Elizabeth Lee, Joseph Leonardo, Heather Longworth, Sheila McCarthy, William Porre, Judith Siedick, Sheila Schutz, Kay Slattery, Deborah Sperling, Pam Zakowski, Deborah Taft, Mary Wilson, Jean Wing, and Patricia Wynn. And we thank them very much from the bottom of our hearts for all their years of service, wonderful service to the Fairport School District. Superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. And I would like to echo the sentiments of Mrs. Makoban with our 40 retirees. It's amazing. You see that list, and the longer you're here, the more stories that you could share in their legacies and what they mean to the Fairport schools. It's incredible, so we wish them the best. Congratulations to our class of 2017. We're looking forward to Thursday evening celebration at the Blue Cross Arena, and I know that it's going to be a special night. That's what it's pretty much all about at the end of the day, is to celebrate our students, and we wish them the very best and what lies ahead of them in their future. Congratulations again to the class of 2017. It's the end of the year in all of our schools. It's great to see the festivities still going strong. It's amazing how those elementary teachers and the middle school teachers have the days planned and keeps the students focused and engaged. The energy is not lacking, that's for certain. And we wish them the best as they head off to the summer and make memories, and as they begin their next year in our Fairport schools. This evening, before the board meeting, we had 71 students who we honored who achieved academic excellence. 7 straight quarters of high honor roll, of a grade point average of 94.5% or higher. That's pretty impressive, and that speaks to the high standards of excellence. We also had an opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate our interscholastic athletes and our Odyssey of the Mind team. Again, it speaks to the commitment to the whole child, and as we move along, we're going to continue to define what the whole child means in Fairport. It's one of my favorite parts is the celebrations that occur, and we had families there, and the auditorium was pretty packed, and again, it speaks to who we are as a district. Speaking of who we are as a district, I would like to say that as I'm entering my 3rd year, it's really clear, and we're all excited that the next 3 years are going to define the next 30 years in Fairport. We're really interested in putting together a comprehensive fiscal and facilities plan as we move into the future. The main ideas of these facility plans would be taking care of the short and long-term needs of the district. Last night at our Board of Education workshop, we spent some time talking about a district goal on facilities planning and budget planning for the future. We're going to be working with our administrators and other district leaders on this work in the very near future. And you'll see a comprehensive strategic plan next year that will highlight specifically what Fairport stands for when it comes to student achievement. What do we want our students to leave Fairport schools with? What type of exit expectations and criteria do we expect from a student achievement perspective? Fiscal stability. We need to make sure that our short and long-term fiscal planning needs are aligned to our values. They're aligned to all the resources that it takes to run our school district in this era of declining or limited revenue. So we're looking forward to creating a plan relative to fiscal stability. Also, we're also in a unique situation where we have facilities that need some very specific details and attention to when we talk about facilities planning. And we're looking forward to creating a comprehensive plan that speaks to creating learning environments that are geared towards 21st century learning and school configuration. And how do we use all of our buildings in our school? And of course, what do we value as a community? What are the important values as we're looking at student achievement, fiscal stability, and facilities planning? What do we value? What close to us in Fairport based upon our values? We're going to continue next year with a community task force. And this task force will have community members, community leaders, staff members, students, parents, and of course Board of Education members. And we're going to be talking about those pillars that I just mentioned: student achievement, fiscal stability, and facilities planning. And how in Fairport do we create comprehensive short and long-term plans to meet the needs of our students and address the priorities of our district and our community. By the fall, early fall next year, I will be having community meetings within the schools for our staff and with the community at large that speaks to these ideas, to begin communicating the clear expectations on how we're going to proceed in the very near future. We also know that we have some immediate budgetary needs that we're going to get at. And again, part of my meetings in the fall will be outlining some plans and priorities for the 2018-19 budget cycle. So even though we just approved our budget and we're looking forward to the new year, we are starting the planning for our immediate future for next year's budget cycle. That's going to be a transparent process. We'll be inviting people in early and often so that they're aware of what's happening in our schools, and we'll be looking forward to sharing information and working with our administrative team and, of course, our school leaders to keep everybody abreast on how we're going to move forward and take care of our immediate needs, but also start planning for the future. Looking forward again to Thursday night to celebrate our students and their accomplishments through the Fairport schools. Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Matt Stevens, our treasurer's report.
Okay, good evening. Tonight we have the treasurer's report for the period ending April 30th, 2017. We had a beginning balance of $65.13 million, total receipts for the month of $1.56 million, disbursements of $9.55 million for an ending balance of $57.14 million, trending along the lines of about $8 million under where we were in cash last year at this point. Thank you.
Matt, with the last statement you made, trending, we're $8 million less in cash than we were last year. What's the significance of that particular statement?
Oh, I'm sorry, primarily due to reserves. I know I say this each meeting and just left that out, but it's primarily the reserves that we've used over the years at the end of last year compared to where we were at year end. So,
And some of it right now is just actually moved, right? It moved from the general fund into the capital fund, which is right now showing high on cash, almost $13 million.
Okay, that's to pay the debt.
Well, it went in there for the project or whatever, so, I mean, but some of it's also from the borrowing, but, right, we move things around.
Next is the approval of the consent calendar. May I have a motion, please? Marty, second. Joyce? All in favor? 7-0. We have a lot of motions tonight, so. Then the next are personnel actions. A couple pages of those. May I have a motion, please? For the Marine, second. Pete, discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Non-instructional and civil service action, staff actions. Does that include, that includes retirements, Karen? Yeah, okay. So may I have a motion, please? I know. There's many you don't want to approve, yeah. So did I see a handout for a motion? Joyce, second Marty. Discussion, Marie? Okay. All in favor? Reluctantly? Okay. The next is for a Jewel agreement. May I have a motion, please? Marty, second. Joyce, discussion. All in favor? 7-0. Position control. May I have a motion, please? Peter, second. Marie? Discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Next, we have a presentation of the capital improvement project, monthly project update, and I think Matt will probably.
Yes, tonight we have with us presenting from Campus Construction, Charles Brown. Also with campus here is Mark Esposito. We've seen Mark previously, and we do have Troy Williams from LaBelle Associates in the audience, as well as our Director of Facilities, Ross Chula. So make sure you push the button.
Good. Hear me? Great. All right. We will start our monthly update with a review of our financial summary, and then we'll roll right into construction. Okay, so these 5 bullet points represents our approved referendum of the $29.2 million. The items include our incidental budget, our construction contingency, our 2 phases of construction, phase 1 and phase 2, and our state contracts. There we go. For our construction contingency update, we have actual executed change orders in the amount of just over $700,000 in deduct change orders. When we couple that with our construction contingency, we get a balance of just over $800,000 for funds available for changes for the project. For phase 1, we are about 80% complete with 2 buildings remaining, which is the high school, which is under construction now, and Jefferson Avenue. Phase 2, we are approximately 25% complete, but in the next couple of weeks, that'll open up past the high school into the other buildings that we'll discuss. We are at approximately $40,000 in contract allowances. And for pending changes and change orders to date, we are at approximately $108,000 for change orders. If any of that portion is approved, it will come off of our construction contingency. Okay, construction update. For phase 1, there were 3 buildings remaining. There was the high school, Jefferson Ave, and Martha Brown. So at the high school, we know about the roofing work that's been going on, and that will go on through the summer, and we anticipate completion somewhere in the fall. The exterior soffits are complete, and following that, we will have the metal trim and the metal panels that will go into the summer as well. Jefferson Avenue, we will be starting the roofing this summer, and that is also slated to go into the fall of this year as well. And Martha Brown, although that building is substantially complete, we did have some change order work there, and that was the chimney repair, which we'll discuss a little later on as well. And that work is complete. Phase 2. Now, some of these items are going to sound familiar. Here at the high school, we are still under renovations in the main office, but we are into the finishes and stages there with door frames and ceilings and painting. The toilet rooms for the first phase are still underway, but we're starting the finishes there as well. Ceramic tile, painting, finishing the boarding of the ceilings. The locker rooms, the substantial heavy demo is complete. So now we're into the mechanical rough-ins and starting for the new walls that'll happen in the middle of June. The access road for the high school, if you've been through here, you can see that's underway, and that's slated for completion also the end of this month. Now, some additional renovations that we haven't discussed that will happen over the next couple of weeks when school breaks will be the additional corridors in the buildings, some additional instructional spaces, the next wave or phase of toilet rooms, the auditorium seating, site work with some parking areas, and the new canopies at both the event and the main entrances. So a majority of this work is slated to be complete this summer. We will have some items carrying on into the fall, and that will be the auditorium and the second phase of the bathrooms. New work that's going to start as soon as school lets out, right after June 26th, are Martha Brown, Northside Dudley, Minerva DeLand, and Jefferson Avenue. Martha Brown, if you've been by there, if you drive by there, you see that access road has been actually installed and complete. The only thing left there is that we will return to do site restoration. Dudley and Northside Elementary, we have playgrounds at both schools. We have interior ventilation work at select spaces and offices. And we have site work with reconfigured parking lots. Minerva DeLand is an exterior door replacement, so it's not a big job, but that'll take us through the summer as well. And Jefferson Avenue, in addition to playground work or the roofing work, we also have playgrounds we'll be doing as well. So real quick, this is Martha Brown. This is actually phase 1 work. I had mentioned the change order work earlier. If you notice on the top of the chimney, there is a lightning rod protection. And that was actually embedded within the brick. So in part, the reason why we had to do this work is because that was causing the brick to delaminate. So while we were there, we took the opportunity to remove the lightning rod protection from the inside of the brick to the outside.
Can I ask what, and it's probably an obvious answer, but what exhausts through that chimney? What feeds into it? Is it the furnace or the stoves, or what are we pushing out that chimney right there?
That goes to the boiler room, right?
Boilers? Okay. And do all the buildings have a chimney? I haven't really noticed. I did notice this when I drove by, but, okay. Didn't know if we were feeding wood down there or something, coal, right?
We still do that?
They're pretty old buildings, right? So, yeah.
Okay, and this is just another shot of Martha Brown. Some of the protection is probably tough to see, but there's actually fencing there on the scaffold, and there's also some fall protection on the roof to stop, anything from dropping down to the ground below. This is the entrance wall up front. This is the footer for it. Now that you've driven by, you actually see it's complete. This is the rebar that was installed. Another shot of the same wall. This is one of the unisex bathrooms near the principal's office. Stud and mechanical roughing is complete. Again, the underground sanitary lines within the unisex bathrooms as well. This is the high school roof. This is actually, the cap sheet has been installed, and now the only thing remaining is the flood coat and stonework, the ballast. This is toilet room T4. It's next to the unisex bathrooms. Another shot of the rough work that's complete. Next phase would be walls and finishes. Main office, ceiling above the counter below. Actually kind of mirrors what the counter is going to look like as far as shape is concerned. Now this is the Martha Brown again, but this is actually phase 2 work. So this is the emergency access road that will take you up to the field. And if you can see here, this shot here is our initial stripping and cutting, and the black fabric is underneath the stone. This is a shot of actually the stone being compacted. The man you see there is from SJB doing a test of the stone compaction. This is your completed access road. Like I said before, we will return to do the site restoration. Those stone, by the way, that's temporary. Those are check dams that are temporary. Heat exchanger, this is located in between the 2 locker rooms, above the vestibule in between the 2 locker rooms. And that's a shot of the ductwork below that unit. So as you can see, from February to now, we're still at different phases, everywhere from demolition to finish work. So we've got a lot of phases. We're going to have a very busy summer, but we're on schedule right now, which is a really good thing. Any questions?
The $800K of contingency,
Yes.
what is the plan for that? There may not be a plan, but what happens to that money?
Well, honestly, we still have a busy summer.
Yep.
And we're still in the ground, we have groundwork.
All right, so you don't know
So
what you're gonna
I'm a
do.
little leery about that until I get a little farther on into the job.
I think we could buy some Bitcoin or something.
I really like the fact that it's getting redder and redder.
What's that?
I like the fact that it's getting bigger and bigger.
We'll be looking forward to in July to take a site visit with interested board members.
Hard hits.
Great.
with hard hats.
Anything from your perspective that's been a surprise or a barrier, you know, providing a barrier for you getting the job done? Anything surprising?
No, no, not surprised. As a hindrance, no. As a plus, the district has been absolutely fantastic to work with.
Thank you.
Except for
Thank
maybe a
you.
little
Bob
electricity.
Clark.
Just the electric.
Bob
That's
Just
it.
Clark
electric.
said this
Yeah, there you go.
evening in the auditorium that tonight was the very last formal event in the auditorium. So that was like a wow moment. So thanks for that reminder, and a lot of special memories in there. But we're looking forward to seeing it come back in a bigger, faster, stronger fashion.
Brett,
I do have a question. When you take out all those seats in the auditorium,
can we sell
where do
them?
they go? Like a landfill somewhere, or do you?
He wants a souvenir seat.
Well, I'm just,
Can we sell those seats?
I mean, what do you do with them?
Make money
Tossing them.
for the district?
Yeah? Okay.
Tossing them.
There's not a market for used
Not true.
cushions and worn out.
Give me your address, we'll hook you up.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Board policies, second reading. May I have a motion, please? Maureen, second. Kevin, any discussion?
We were busy.
I went through the field trip policy that we'd had some discussion around. I didn't really see any changes to it from what we had talked about. We talked about referencing another policy that allowed the superintendent to define excused or unexcused absences. I thought we were going to call that out specifically.
The decision, oh, please,
Uh,
please.
Well, it was policy 7110.
It's referenced.
And we had put it in parentheses and in the field trip policy. And then we noticed that it's referenced, at the end of policies, you often see the laws and
Right, yep.
regulations that are referenced.
Mhm.
It was there.
Okay,
So we felt it was redundant.
right,
It also, it already is referenced to below.
all right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, it does. I mean, it does for us because we've read the policies. I thought we had talked about possibly stating a certain clause or aspect of that policy that we thought was important, a reference point for the reader of this policy. to
That
really
was in the
understand.
first reading. It was referenced within the body.
Okay.
But you wanted some sort of text.
Yeah,
Oh, so you wanted to make it bigger.
because I think
We
it
took it out.
clarifies, it clarifies potential confusion.
Well,
I don't,
I'm working closely with the building administrators,
Okay.
and their responsibility would be to bring forth the policy in the building and really, get into, the sub policies that it refers to. So I feel confident that while working with the principals, that the policies will be read and, the finer print, if you will, sort of clarifies any questions that people might have.
okay.
The committee went with the guidance of administrators, and we
Okay.
decided to take it out for the
All
second
right,
reading.
okay. My only concern is that the last time we had the first reading, there was some misinterpretation and confusion that caused, some angst.
That's because it was there twice,
Okay.
and then, getting it out
Double
and
negative.
just keeping it where it always was,
Okay,
sort of, moves us forward, but makes us aware that, of the guidelines in the policy.
okay.
All in favor? 7-0. AS7 contract for services with Monroe One BOCES. May I have a motion, please? Marty? Second. Maureen? Discussion?
What is AS7? Just to clarify.
Well, this contract is all of our BOCE services that we commit to for 2017-18, ranges from our special ed services to our networking to our tutoring costs, today's students, tomorrow's teachers, and includes our transportation contract with BOCES for any of our outside runs that we can't take care of ourselves. So it's all of our BOCE services.
Any other Discussion, questions?
Yeah, I just wondered how much of an increase this is from the prior year. Any idea?
Not off the top of my head, I'd have to look back into all of our budget documents.
Okay.
I want to say it was somewhere from 2 to 5%, maybe.
Okay.
I could get you the number afterwards.
All right, thank you.
And we received a refund. This was from last year's number that we approved about this time?
The refund was from 2015, 16, actually.
Right.
Mhm.
So, right, when they adjust and finally know what their overall expenses are, this is what the estimate is for us, based on their budget, right? And so we could
Yeah, this is the estimate for 17, 18, and then.
Does it go
any-
the other direction sometimes, where it's not a refund, but we owe them more money?
Fortunately, it has not.
I'm just saying, is that a possibility?
No, I think it's always possible. I mean, it depends on if there's any more services that the district would be requesting or more students going in there that BOCES would have to hire additional people. But it could cost districts more.
And this is based on our services. We need not necessarily a percentage of their budget.
Correct,
in all
these
the
are our
school
services.
districts.
These are our services. I mean, it would include the admin fee, the rent fee that also gets built in,
Right.
their administration fee. I have to look at the budget. Yeah, good.
All in favor? 7-0. School food service budget. May I have a motion, please? Maureen? Second, Kate? Discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Rental agreement between FEA and the Fairport Central School District. May I have a motion, please? Joyce, second. Maureen, discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Security service contract extension. May I have a motion, please? Marty, second. Joyce, discussion?
In terms of what part of the day is this, that we're not doing our own census?
It's in the evenings.
This
Yeah,
is-
usually 3 to 11-ish, 11:30.
This is weekends, too.
And weekends, yep.
And this is one person that kind of cycles through the district on a,
I don't know if it's exactly one person. They have a group of
It's a
people
group
that
of
do it,
people.
but
And as an extension, is this like first extension within a contract? How many extensions do we have within that before it's bid out again?
it's not necessarily a number of extension. It's just we're renewing the contract with
Or is
Swoop.
is more
Yeah,
renewal? than-
more renewal.
Matt, is this source of security that we're subbing out to, do they do security for other districts in Monroe County, all the districts, or?
I believe some use Swoop, some may have their own security they hire.
Some districts have their own, security that
Okay.
they have, roam through the night in their own district vehicle.
Okay.
All in favor? 7-0. Budget transfers, may I have a motion, please? Nobody wants to make a motion. Joyce? Thank you. And I think I saw Marty's hand go up for a second. Discussion?
I could just add, that these, you see two budget transfers, one coming from the health insurance code, and other coming from a custodial code, both going into a maintenance code. This is primarily related to the transportation facility project, so it's not a cash-related item. However, no bidding has been done for that yet. And at the beginning of any capital project, we still have costs related to architectural fees, construction management fees, legal fees. So this is being absorbed in the general fund in 16-17, but will come back to the general fund once we're able to set up the capital budget after bids are complete. And then we'd move the expense over to capital at that point. So in any remaining funds, which could be minimal, I mean, it could be a couple $100,000 in hopes to do a couple of the maintenance items that we have in the district that exist out there that are on that long list of work. I mean, it's not a lot of big work we could get done, but anything we could chip away at.
So, not, we trust you implicitly, but You said that this is gonna come back into the budget at some point, right?
Right, so we.
How do we know, I mean, how do we keep track of that as a board?
So you'll see it on the appropriation status reports.
Okay.
So what you'll see is an adjusted budget would change because we'd have to do a transfer of the expense out of the general fund to the capital fund. So you would see that changing the adjusted budget within the general fund.
Is this part of an audit process where, and again, it has nothing to do with trust, I'm just more concerned about the mechanics of it. Like, you're telling us as a board that we're transferring these funds out for this purpose, and we'll see it come back,
Mhm.
but we're not gonna remember that, honestly, so.
There- it's like,
I mean,
oh, there it
honestly,
is.
So
We
how
just-
are we sure that that's gonna come back?
It will come back. I can tell you it will come back because we track all those expenses that we're spending.
Okay.
So from an accounting perspective, so every time that we're spending something out of the general fund,
Right.
we've really been trying to narrow it down to one code.
Okay.
So it's much easier for us to track in the business office, so that when we set up that capital fund, we have to actually move costs related to architect fees to a specific capital budget code. Construction management fees, so there's all these separate budget codes that we have to utilize in the capital fund related to this project, so.
So
So,
does,
okay,
I mean, other than legal's in a different code, and that'll get moved out as well, but there's smaller fees there. This is more so architectural and construction management fees.
as an accounting though, for tracking it, and I don't know, does this create a due to, due from that needs to be resolved later on? That, is this a borrowing of sorts to the other, or are we literally transferring? 'Cause that's, I don't know if, in my mind, it seems like it's potentially a difference, like we're giving, or are we lending over to the capital, which we expect it back?
We expect it back, but it's not being recorded as a due to, due from.
It's not?
It's correct. It's to
Why,
be,
why not? Why would we go that route?
because we can represent the expense in there, and we don't need the cash in terms of balancing it. So if we represent it as a due to, due from, then we'd have to have budget set up in capital at this point in time as well.
I see, okay.
I don't see, but
It
all
will
in
come back.
favor? All in favor of the 7-0? But I like this, to do, what is it called? New to do?
Due to, due
Do
from.
do to, do from, okay. Claims auditor report for May 2017. May I have a motion, please? Pete, second. Maureen, discussion?
Just from audit committee meeting perspective, one, always good that we have a person who's looking at this and always find things that, but they also tend to be minor, right? That nobody's ever trying to pull something over the eyes of our administrative staff or whatever. It's just honest mistakes, and somebody's catching an honest mistake and sends it back for correction. So it's a good report.
All in favor? 7-0. Monroe One BOCES lease agreement. Motion, please. Marty, second. Saw Joyce's hand. Discussion.
No discussion.
All in favor? I saw the hand. Yeah, 7-0.
That's a 5-year agreement though, huh? That's great.
2016-17 year-end fund balance analysis and use of reserves. May I have a motion, please? Pete, second. Joyce, discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Bus replacement. May I have a motion, please? Marty? Second. Pete? Discussion?
This was the one that was turned on its side.
Yes, this is a bus that was turned on its side. So we have full replacement, at less than $200 deductible, and then the other cost is we undercoat the buses for Carwell treated, so that's not covered under insurance. So it nets out to about $22,270 to actually replace the bus. This will, I'll work with transportation in terms of creating a purchase order, but this would amend the general fund budget, which is why we had to do it this way for the resolution, because it is a capital-related expense, and
It wasn't by chance one slated to be replaced anyway, was it?
it was not. No.
But most important, no one
The
was injured.
driver
No
walked
one was
away.
injured. Yeah,
And
no
there
one.
was no students.
Yeah,
There was no
no
students.
students.
All in favor?
Hooray for insurance.
Oops. And a small deductible, actually, except for the undercoating.
Well worth it.
school-sponsored field trips. These are the school-sponsored field trips submitted since May 23rd, 2017. May I have a motion, please? Joyce, second. Damon, discussion?
Go
All in
field
favor? Oh, I'm
trips.
sorry, Maureen.
Go field trips.
Go field trips. All in favor? 7-0. Internal audit risk assessment, may I have a motion, please? Pete? Second. Maureen? Discussion?
I just say the same thing.
Say the same thing.
Audit committee looked at it, but a very good report. There are some areas that will always be of higher nature, riskier, and
Because we're a bigger district.
we have a bigger district, but it's just the nature of them. But we always score very well and do well, so minor this and that, things that come up, but a good report.
All in favor? 7-0. And board comments. Is there any board member just who would like to make a comment at this time?
I'm just going to say a little something.
Okay.
It's a great time of year. It's obviously, these are awesome ceremonies acknowledging or recognizing the great accomplishments that are happening. It's great to go to the events and see the kids, and it's just wonderful time of year. I did also want to recognize, and I'm not sure, I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself from a process perspective, but is this the last board meeting where you're officially acting in the capacity of our president? So I just want to say thank you for a wonderful job. You've been fantastic. And Peter, great vice president, but really just to acknowledge your great effort to really keep us on track and move us forward. And thank you for that.
Yeah. Any other board comments? So the next is going to be our anticipated executive session for the purpose of discussing employment matters of a particular group of employees. We will, when we return to regular session, we will not be doing any board business. So may I have a motion? Oh, we're inviting also Brett Provenzano and Matt Stevens. A motion to go into executive session? No? Sorry, Matt.
We're uninvited.
You have to go
We love
home.
you.
What a punishment. So may I have a motion? Kevin, second Maureen, discussion? Good thoughts, good thoughts. All in favor? 7-0? Thank you.